arms! Body language! The body language of arms! Let's get to it. Thank you for tagging along and hope you enjoy. Cutting straight to the chase here. First, please be aware that body language must be read in clusters. You can't read one body position and assume that you understand their entire mental state. That's because a lot of times people might be sending mixed signals, and the same position could mean two different things. So for example, our first topic, crossed arms.
Now then, this time, you please catch it with your left hand.
So put the drone on the slide and count back from 100 and close your eyes.
You didn't hear it right, because I would never say that about people that I don't know.
Now, many people see crossed arms as a negative. It means that someone is either thinking negatively about you or thinking negatively about the situation. They're being defensive. And that can most definitely be the case. However, sometimes crossing your arms just feels nice. It's comfortable, so be careful how you read this one. Now, it is important to be aware that crossing your arms can lower your credibility and make people listen to you less. This tends to be the case if the other person is unsure about you. They're not too fond of you, and then you cross your arms and then they become defensive. So just be careful with it, especially with new people. Next, if you see somebody with their arms crossed but with their thumbs pointed up toward them, it's pretty much saying, yeah, I'm a little bit defensive, but I still think I'm pretty cool.
You know, I think it's changed a lot. I really do. I've seen some real progress. Definitely had some holdouts. People that went kicking and screaming into 2015, but yes, I think they deserve it.
They're pointing to themselves. Look at this guy or gal. Moving on, crossed arms where the fingers are wrapped around the arms can show that the person is trying to comfort themselves.
Finish what we started.
What advice would you give your 20-year-old self?
To be patient.
Okay.
It's like a self-hug, and many times we see this in doctors' offices and funerals. Next, if you see one arm crossed to the other, again, the person is trying to comfort themselves.
Don't come any closer.
Why?
Because you could overpower us. So put the drone.
This is just like the last one, but a little less obvious. And it tends to be women who do this. It's pretty rare to see it with men. All right, before we move on to the next one, here's a little tip. If you do think that someone is crossing their arms because they feel a little defensive about you, offer them a piece of gum or a mint or something. If they take it with one arm still crossed, then they feel a little defensive about you, especially if they go back to crossed arms. However, if they open up their arms as they're taking the gum or mint, then you know that they feel good about you, or at least now they're feeling a little bit better. All right, moving forward, this next body signal is really a combination of the hands and arms. Men will sometimes fiddle with their watch, cufflink, or bracelet whenever they're not feeling too sure about themselves.
But on the other hand, man, I just as soon keep working, keep a little change in my pocket.
Yeah, wait.
Rather than spend my time listening to some dipshit who doesn't know what the hell he's talking about anyway.
They're trying to comfort themselves and boost their confidence. Now again, read it in clusters. If a man does this, or it could even be a woman, it just tends to be men. If you see them standing in front of a mirror, adjusting their clothes and their watch, they may just be straightening themselves out before they go out into public.
Double-breasted suits, three-piece, tassels on shoes, and so forth. Style, confidence, success.
Or if you do see them fidgeting with it in public, for all you know, they could just be adjusting it. These things do need to be readjusted every now and then. Also similar here, if you see a woman put both of her hands in her purse, or if you see her hold a drink in front of her with both hands, she's nervous and she's trying to comfort herself. Next, if someone has their hands on their hips, then you know they're feeling confident and assertive.
And they have the option to come back here to be Top Gun instructors.
I believe it's a win-win for me, either go to college or the draft. I'm just excited that I get to play.
This is a very common and easy signal to understand. Most people know this without really even having to learn about it. And as a variation, women will sometimes put one hand on their hip to draw attention.
They are slightly upward with a long look as though you have mannequin hands.
It shows confidence and that she wants to be noticed. Moving forward, leaning against things or putting our hands on something shows that we feel confident and in charge.
Hey, if anyone's seen the captain's balls, let me know. They're about this big, but a lot tinier. They're like a pea or like a ball bearing.
If you see someone doing this, it's almost like they're saying, this is mine and I can put my hands on it. And this may not be just with objects, it can also be with people. Think about it with a couple where one person has their arm across the other.
Breaking all the rules now anyway. Since I'm going to hell.
It happens when couples sit, stand, or walk. And it's not necessarily an aggressive thing, just that they feel connected to that person. Next, if you see somebody in a chair with armrests, with their arms comfortably on those rests, then they're feeling confident.
We'll be gone for 8 straight weeks, no breaks, right up until Christmas.
Onward. This next one is also pretty easy to understand. Sitting with both the arms behind the head shows dominance and confidence.
I'm telling you, we're gonna have a nice time sitting up front with the pilots.
Now, if you see somebody doing this and you're not feeling too comfortable about it, ask them to grab something for you. Chances are after they've grabbed that object, they won't go back to sitting that way. Just another little tip. And that's it. Another body language video is in the books. I promised I'd finish this video series in the next couple of weeks, and I'm sticking to it. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe button. Ring that notification bell to stay up to date on new videos. And as always, improve your body, improve your mind, improve the world.